YouTubers online with us, welcome, welcome. And I gotta mute that. All right, there's the market open. A lot of red on the charts to be expected, starting out with a green candle. Puts are only up 7%. Like I said, there's nothing that crazy today. So not looking for anything crazy. I either want 4,300 or I want break even. NASDAQ sitting pretty. Red candle on the NASDAQ, green candle on the SPY. Let's take a look at around the charts here. Big tech is got some red coming across the board. Just clicking through here. NVIDIA, big red candles. XLF has got some red here as well. Energy's up. And then the others are down. Pretty much all the same all around here. Looking down at the bonds. There's been up all pre-market long, and now it's got some green climbing up here. And the rates have fallen to 2.01 after peaking out at 2.05. So we'll see a little bit of divergence here. NASDAQ's going down. SPY's going up. All right. Apparently I had to fix that. I was in the wrong stages. My bad. There you go. I was in the zone. I'm sorry. All right. Big red on the NASDAQ, and SPY looks like it may follow suit here. Big red candle on the NASDAQ here, but SPY still holding out. Looking at 44.50 puts for February 16th, 44.50s, and if you're doing SPY, do 445, 443s here. Big divergence, interesting. All right, where's that coming from? Let's see. There's a huge divergence here. XLK, XLY, XL. Big green candles on energy and XLF. That's propping up the SPY while tech is faltering. Everything else is, let's see, XLP is green, I is green, real estate green. So the bottom 6 or 7 are green for the most part, except for communications. It's getting smoked right there. But tech is down. NASDAQ is red. But big green on financials. And where are we going to go for the day? Where are we going to go for the day? Let's make some money. What's up, Nathan? How you doing? VIX collapse. RIP puts. I think you're on a different chart than we are. VIX has spiked up over 26. All right, so we're hovering out right here, back just under RS2. I'm going to delete that line right there. I expect things to do a lot of shaking today. We've got FOMC, we've got Russia, we've got a lot of stuff. We've got a lot of headlines that we have to navigate through. Very unhealthy market. Very unhealthy market. NASDAQ still falling. I don't think it's a bad play to play puts on that divergence there because tech is very red here. XLF is very green, but right now SPY is starting to climb to S2. Still looking at the 44.50 puts on February 16th. We'll see if we play them. No play just yet. No play just yet. But I think I may put one here pretty soon. NASDAQ still falling here. Big red candles on SPY. All right, so we had a little green out of the gate and red. The bottom few X's are the green. The top ones are a little red. XLF started out with the big green. Let's see what happens with that one. Some red candles on the energy. Tech has got a little red here. Facebook is down 3% off their news, if you can call it that. NASDAQ new lows again. Let's see if SPY can come on down. Faltering there. Still going down. All right, all right. So I'm waiting for one of two things to happen. Either the NASDAQ bounces, sends some green for SPY to come back to pre-market levels, or SPY joins the NASDAQ and down we go. And that's what I'll be looking for. Remember, on a day with such volatility and ambiguity and unknowns, it's okay to not place a trade. If you don't feel comfortable navigating these waters, then don't trade. I personally want to see this at 4,200. Not because I want to see the market crash, but because I want healthy price action. And right now, the healthiest thing for this to do is to drop below 4,200. Going up to 4,700 would not be healthy. What's your opinion on further outside the money calls, puts, and XPX of trading with a smaller account? As long as you maintain your position sizes, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. The issue with longer term trades is that you're fighting theta, especially if you catch yourself on the wrong end of a trend. And two, people think because you've got time built in, you take 3-4 weeks out, that you could start putting in a lot of money. You could start putting, oh well, I've got 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks for this position to work out. I'm just going to put a bunch of money in there, and then you don't realize how destructive time is on your position, especially if this thing starts trickling against you for 3, 4, 5 days, and then you're like, oh well, now the market's got to go way above and beyond to get to your position. So you just got to be very careful. Timing is of the essence, of course. I can't take no fast enough. If I start to see things break down, I'm going to start to build a heavier position into my the swing puts, long-term puts, because I think the chances of hitting 4,200 are higher than 4,700. We'll see though. That's kind of what my thinking. I'll adjust things as we need, but we'll see. Missed you yesterday. All good on your side. If you're talking to me, I don't stream on Tuesdays for YouTube. Yep, everything's great. Did I put a stop loss on my March puts? I don't have a stop loss on them yet. I don't. It depends on the price action today. I've heard people say in Discords the market will get easier after quote unquote the big drop. Mostly baloney, or is there truth to this? I don't think the market will switch back to easy mode for a good bit. There's so much volatility. With the market has to unravel what it's done the past 2 years. We've injected so much liquidity into the market. Now we have to unravel that, and as long as that is in the process, the volatility will be high. They'll have big swings up and down, sideways, and to a compound on that, if we do get into a bear market situation, you have to realize, as little confidence I have in pattern trading even more so gets destroyed. In a bear market, patterns do not work because patterns are based on the assumption that bulls will step in and respect certain boundaries. And in a bear market, that just doesn't work. So if a pattern is usually works 60% of the time, in a bear market, it works 5% of the time because price action gets a little more wonky. The bulls step out and in at different times, and selling becomes a common occurrence. So if you are a pattern trader, just be on guard. If we do get into a bull market situation, it'll be iffy. By the way, this is a very wonky situation here. Speaking of wonky, that's like the fourth time I've used that word. I apologize. NASDAQ is still continuing to fall. SPY dead flat. So we need XLF to turn down for what? Just kidding. So we need XLF to start to top wick, and then SPY will crash. There goes NASDAQ. Man, the NASDAQ is just getting destroyed, but SPY is like, I'm good, bro. I'm good. I'm just going to hang out. So, interesting action here. Big downside in tech, big upside in financials, and SPY is hanging dead flat. Dead flat. I think XLF is going to juice it early and then fall because this is ridiculous, especially when it doesn't need to be doing this. And then it's going to downturn and we're going to flush. But at the same time, NASDAQ could bounce too. So we're going to be watching here. XLF is just absolutely screaming at the moment. Why wouldn't it be healthy for the market to continue to go up? Because the reason why the market was rocketing all through the middle of a global pandemic, 2020-21, is because of monetary policy. There was so much liquidity being injected into the market, it had nowhere to go but up. Whenever you take a product that has supply and demand and you throw a crap ton of money at it, I mean, the price is going to go up. It's going to. Now that liquidity is being removed. So there's no reason for this thing to launch to new all-time highs, 4,700, 4,800 at the moment, until we navigate these waters. So if I see this thing rocket up to 4,700, there's going to be so many variables that are probably manipulated by news, short squeezes, and etc. So right now we're chasing our tails. You know, people are trying to figure out if they need to go risk on or risk off with everything that's going on. Russia's now talking about launching ballistic missiles. Like that headline was posted today, which I'm surprised we're not already under 4,400. Now they're talking about launching ballistic missiles, and I think that when we start to see footage of that happening, we really will get in a hairy situation. So, yeah, we're playing the headline dance right now. Do you think we're going to range until FOMC? I wouldn't put it past me. Now, this is very interesting in price action here, though. So, NASDAQ is very much down. Tech is getting smoked while SPY is just kind of hanging out because of XLF. So, I'm interested to see how XLF is going to maneuver right now. I believe 2:30 Eastern. I'll have to double check that. I'm pretty sure it's 2:30 Eastern on the minutes being released. It's almost 5 p.m. in Ukraine. If Putin was to invade today, wouldn't have done it by now. No. I mean, I don't think war has business hours. So if I was personally going to invade, I would want to do it in the middle of the night. I'd want to do it at the most inopportune time. But that's me. I'm not Shinzu. That's true. That's true. If anybody knows history, in the middle of the night, when there was a full moon, allowed Washington to evade the British. So they were able to slip across the harbor by light of the moon. I love me a little history. War doesn't have business hours. I like it. How is your NQ not delayed? I pay for the it's $2 a month for live data on the Nasdaq. All right, so there's our answer. XLF doesn't care about anything; it's just going up as hard as it can, and now it's bringing SPY with it. Nasdaq is getting a little green candle here, and off we go. Off we go. The past 2 days so far have been the craziest price action I think I've seen in years. Uh, Yesterday was ridiculous. It was just absolutely ridiculous. Um, Random bounces, different support zones and demand zones being rejected and bounced off of, huge swings in seconds. It was just completely erratic. And now we've got a little more wonky price action here too. So that's what I'm saying. Every time I see, Russia aside, when I see price action like this, it's to me it tells me we're on the verge of a drop because the market is completely unhealthy and unstable, which usually it comes before a drop. I'm not a languager. Jeez Louise, it's too early. Haven't had enough coffee today. Proceeds. There you go. Thanks, Trav. Thanks, Trav. Plus, we have, Vixpiration. Vixpiration. Waiting for the Olympics to end to start a war is wild. Yeah, yeah. I don't know how much that. I mean, I'm sure. I don't know. I don't know how water that. I mean, it's not like Russia's going to wait until the closing ceremonies and then all right, launch the attack. Like I don't think that's I don't know how that's going to work. The whole point, the big takeaway I see from news, and of course I do have a little more insight because I'm in the military. The stuff that we're told and all that stuff. But in terms of a public point of view, right now, it's back and forth. Every day the headlines are flip flopping, and there's so much misinformation and wrong posts. And like they even said yesterday, like that was joke. It was a joke that he said that they were invading, or 2 days ago that, and then it bounced. So it's nuts. It's insane. So that's why I'm saying the markets are on edge. Markets are on edge. So anyway, S3 is a little tough right here. That's yesterday's S1. Still proving to be a bear of a level, some pun intended. Ricardo, yes, I've got 2 different videos on how to form those levels. Dynamite levels, and which I regret naming it that, and another one. I could post the links here. Thanks, Lamborghini. Appreciate that. Yeah, just a little silly. It's a little silly. I was in a feisty mood when I made that video. I do think, and I'll say this, and don't listen to what I'm not saying. I do think Putin is testing the new administration. I think that's what it is. He's kind of feeling out how they would react because this is the first interaction between Putin and Biden, and that's what global powers do. And every time Putin does want to make his name known, so I think he's testing. I think he's testing the new administration, see what they'll do. It's all a big game. Hey, red candles. What do you know? Hey, never get no respect. 16%. What do we got here? That's a nice little gain. Ooh. All right, maybe we'll get 4,300 sooner than I thought. I think we could see it, Nomad. I think we could see it. What's calls on oil ETFs such as USO? I think it'd be a good one. I think it'd be a good one. You're right, Nomadic. You're right. 0% gain that you take profits on my swing put. 100%. 100%. I want 4,300 or I want break even. The only reason I'm taking that stance on this particular position is because I do think we are headed for a larger move down. I do think that the 4,300s are coming. I could be wrong, very well, but that's my process and that's my thesis, and that's where I'm going to set my hat. And then if I'm wrong, I'll break even and I'll just play calls on the way up. Simple as that. My position sizes are commensurate with my risk tolerance. I've got my thesis in play, so I'm not getting emotional, and we'll see. I couldn't think of the word proceed, but I can use words like commensurate. I'm like 20% sure I'd use that wrong anyway. 4,300s, not 4,300. I think we'll pop into the 4,300s today, but not 4,300. I would be surprised if we saw 4,300. That would be a considerable fall, but you never know. You never know. All right. I'm looking at 44.20s right now. 442 if you're on SPY. Nice, Tool Master. Well done. Yeah, if you are holding those swing puts, don't, I'm taking a different stance. If you want to take profits on those swing puts, then close them. Reopen them. I'm playing a little more aggressive with those. So do your thing. Yeah, I'm kind of letting this thing shake out. There's a little bit of divergence there. We smoked that candle randomly there, so if you're able to time that, then congratulations. But that thing came out of nowhere. So there is some more downside. All right. Swing puts are now up, 24%? I'll take it. I'll take it. Nothing wrong with that, Steven. Nothing wrong with that. Take it. XLF turned down first. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Oh, man. Let me take a look here. Let me take a look here. I need to load a chart. Load OM personal. And I'm going to bring this baby over here. Stand by one quick. One sec. I'm going to see if I can form an S6 and S7. Oh, that's a good one. If we get below S7, I'm not going to continue to form levels. What I'll do is I'll just pinpoint some strong pivots, and we'll go from there. Because once we start blowing through levels on a trend day, it's like, all right, well, what's really the point? I just want the outliers. Just bear with me a sec while I look at these. Or what you could do, instead of going with a break even, is take set you a trailing stop that's a little bit into the money to get you some profits, and then let that thing go. I set it where, if you want to do stuff like that, I kind of set it around levels based on where I think the market wants to go, and if it starts popping through upward levels, like on a put, for example, if it starts climbing up, I'll set it kind of where I think the price will be on a particular level. If we like, for example, if we come up here and all right, well, I'll set a stop where if I think it pops through S3, then it won't go back up and stuff like that. So I'll set it up here, or I'll just take, or you could set it by a percentage amount. Like, hey, I'm happy with 20%. I'll set 20% and I'll forget about it and see what happens. Nasdaq's down 1.3. Futures are down 0.7. This is very weak buying here. It looks like just maybe closing out some short positions, kind of hovering out here. And top wick red. Top wick red. So S5 is down here at 442.05. Significant level. I'll be interested to see how we navigate around that once we touch it. There's another red. Let's see. Let's see. XLF is starting to go green, just a touch. XLE is starting to reclaim some of that red. Everything else is down at the bottom of their channel. Facebook and Google starting to climb. Facebook breaching out the top there. And SPY, little bottom wick green, just before 10:05. If we do pop back up here, I'll be looking to figure out how we're going to come back down short. VIX coming off of 27.10 and falling just a touch. XLF is got a little green there. I don't see much strength still, and still remain a bearish stance for the point for right now. When I look at call credit spreads, if we pop back up, I wouldn't be against scalping some call credit spreads, but my thing is with FOMC coming up here, and the Russian news is like you don't know what really is going to happen. So I'm kind of treading lightly. We're in the upper 20s with the VIX, and with spreads and the big moves that could potentially be made and the erratic nature of the price action, you got to tread lightly with spreads. So we'll see. Now what I could do with my put, I've got that March 4th put. I could start shorting puts against that, which is also a theory. I could play off that long put way down there at 43.50. Cody, I would go ahead and take that 50% right there. That was a good little quick 50%. FOMC is not the day to go for 100. That's for sure. And there's another red candle. So, let's see. Futures are down 0.7. Nasdaq's down 0.3, 1.3. If we break below 442, 438 can come into play here, and I'll start posting the other levels. But if we start popping below, it could get pretty dicey pretty quick, and in one of those flush days, because this green action is not looking strong or supported. Do I hedge your positions? I do. I do hedge them. Not immediately. I kind of let things shake out and then start hedging pretty quick, but not immediately. I give it a few potatoes there, because I don't want to hedge if I get a huge favorable move in my positions. I just want to go ahead and take profits or look at closing out. I don't necessarily want to hedge because it's not worth it to me. If I get no move or a disadvantageous move, then yeah, I would want to start hedging against that position. I didn't post them yet. I'll post them if we start breaching S5. But I've got them written right here in my book, my little handy dandy notebook. So I've got 43. What do we got? I may take a long put here in a second if this keeps up. I just want to make sure if we start the price action starts to fail. XLV is still down, XLK is still down, and SPY is looking weak right now. Needs to start coming along. Currently looking at 44.20s, 44.20s, 442s for SPY. I do expect more downside, yes. I do. Just notice Mrs. OM is in here. Yep, she's in here. She is. 16th and the 18th. It all depends on the particular price action here. So we'll see. Is XLF your favorite of the X's to watch? No. It stands out because the financial sector is heavily tied to the data that's being released, the rate hikes, the inflation, the rates, the 10 years, all that stuff. So I do watch them closely. Not to mention days like today, it causes divergence when XLF is up green, big, and everything else is red. And there's another red off S4. I'm in some Q calls. I am in some SPX puts. A lot of top wicks here. Not really got a little upward Momo. Yeah, a lot of wicks left and right. That's right. Yeah, my swing puts. I'm currently holding the 43.50 swing puts for March 4th. Oh, no, I'll tell y'all. No. Right now, we're just kind of pinned here under S4 above S5, seeing if we're going to test lows or go back up into the top of the range. Not really much Momo. My bad, K Tizzle. My bad. All right, let's check out UK. Here's the UK markets. They close in an hour and 10, or hour and 20, sorry. They're kind of flat as well. Got a couple of weak candles bouncing off this low, kind of trickling around S4. XLF, another red candle there. They're rejecting VWAP, and Energy, those are the two stickers, and they're coming back down. What are the chances of SPY options being assigned? You can't really assign a chance to that. Just know that you can be assigned at any time. So it doesn't have to be in the money. It doesn't have to be at a particular time. It can be at any time. Someone wants to decide to execute those, then you can be assigned. So that's why I only do SPX short options. Man, look at these wicks on the 3. I'm going to check out the 15. Big top wick, or bottom end top wick on the 15. Let's go to the 30. Same thing. 3-minute right here. Looking a little indecisive so far. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Assignment, it really isn't that big of a deal if you have the account to back that up. That's the problem. The problem is people overextend themselves. They put themselves in positions where they can't cover assignment, and you get hit with a nice little fat margin call. What's up, Bill? How you doing? Another red candle. What's the best way to get started learning? Check out the Discord channel. Check out the YouTube videos I've got, my educational series, and then ask questions. Come join us, and you can post questions in any of the channels, and just kind of get the ball rolling. It's kind of like I need to figure out what you don't know first. VIX is starting to come off just a touch. We might see a little buying action start to creep in. And a little top wick forming. Ooh, Amazon getting a little feisty here. Tesla's green, Google, Facebook. So a little bit of green coming into the tech. What's XLF doing? XLF starting to green. We might have some bull action here. Just a touch. Need some follow through though. Need some follow through. I got in a put pretty much at the bottom of the range, and these topics are making me stay in, but I don't like this uptrend. Just make sure you set your thesis. Don't let the profit and loss designate your decision to sell. About 20 0DT SPY 443 puts at 163. They were at 236. I held them, let them go at 2. I mean, that's still a great win there, Chief. Just because you didn't get 236, you still $2. That's still a nice little win. You have to form a thesis on why you enter and when you're going to exit. That's the only thing. That's what I'm really trying to push on people, is that if you see an entry and you take it, when are you going to exit? And then when that executes, then you take the trade off the table. I caution you against forming your exits purely on your P&L. Don't say, all right, the second I hit 20, I'm going to take it. Try to think, all right, well, I'm going to take these puts. If I hit this level, I'm going to exit. If it goes against me and it goes back up, I'm going to stop out at this position. That type of thing. Form your thesis. That way, it'll cage your emotions. You won't get crazy. You won't start flying all over the place. Oh, I really need to come back. I can't take this 20% loss. Please, please, please. I'll go to church next week if you let this go green. You can't think like that. So form your thesis and then execute the trade. And then, of course, we have position size. If 20 SPY 0 DTEs is 90% of your portfolio, then you're not going to be able to think clearly. I've gotten several times DMs. By the way, I'm watching this red. If we break below the PM range, I'll look at taking some more puts. When I've gotten a lot of DMs saying, hey, man, I'm doing great. Everything is great. But every single time I take a big position size, I get destroyed. Every time. It's like, it's like magic, man. It's terrible. I've got the worst luck in the world. And I'm like, all right, well, there's a reason why that happens. It's not paranormal. There's not a stock market ghost sitting right over your shoulder going, yes, good, take a big position, good. It's not happening. It's you get emotions involved when you start clicking up, when you head over to your broker and you hit the contract size up 10, 20, 30, 40, and you see that dollar amount get bigger and bigger. You start getting emotions involved. And there's a reason why that happens. It's like clockwork. I was going for the bug on Family Guy. The good. Thanks, ZS. Appreciate that. Who made your website intro? Looking to create something similar. My website. You talking about the YouTube intro? T-shirts for a trading ghost that says "good when you lose." I like it. I'm gonna kind of parrot what Veteran is saying here. He's saying, "Do not sell spreads today. Only go with long options." I think that's a fantastic word of advice. I kind of like my intro. It's unique. There's not a lot of military related investing intros out there. I kind of like it. I think I'm gonna stick with it for now, though. Thank you. I do want to do a kind of like a advertisement type video though. What indicator do you use to gauge the strength of a move? I use the price action candles and I use volume, and of course the volume around my particular pivot levels. That's it. By the way, what I said earlier about the pattern charts and other indicators do not work in a bear market. RSI does not work in a bear market. It absolutely does not work in a bear market. So, as much garbage as I think RSI actually is, it becomes even further down into the bottom of the garbage pail, the garbage bin, and a pail on it. Who uses a garbage pail? I mean, come on. RSI falls that much further down. There you go, Cody. I like that too. Man, I'm just all over the place with words today. Awful. The kid says garbage pail or rubbish. Isn't that what European people say? Rubbish. Put it in the bin. I see. What indicators would be useful in a bear market? Oh, removing the left click button on your mouse so you can't buy anything. That'd be the best indicator. All right, so we got some red coming down to the AM range, and it looks super weak. I'll be looking to play puts under the AM range and under S5. I won't take puts until we breach S5, just because I do think we might have a little check up there. I do think we are going to put in new lows. Nice, Justin. If you are overexposed, this is your chance to reduce that exposure. How do you make money in a bear market? You have to play diligently. You have to be very attuned to the charts and the volume. Obviously, you can play puts or you can short shares. But yes, I am still in the no 260. No, I'm in the March 4th contracts, not 216. I took March 4th. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I'm still looking. My bad. Still looking at the 44.20s on February 16th contracts. We've got them up and ready to go. Currently trading for $12.85 each. What I'll do here, here's a little what I'm thinking. They're currently trading for 12.40. I'm going to click in 14 because that'll kind of be where they will be. That's where the price will somewhat be if we do get a big flush here, because I want to catch this thing on the downside. 440, do 441s for SPY. We just filling gap on the daily here. I think it's more than just a gap fill. I think a gap fill would be it'd be more aggressive than this. I just think the market is very heavy from all the news and the data. Plus we have FOMC. So I did not make a play. I will post the play in OM longs when I make a play. I promise. Even if it's late, I'll call it live. I will still go over and I'll post that thing in OM longs. Unless we get super if this thing just decides to flush hard till 4:39, then it'll be I won't be able to post it live. But I promise you, I'll post a play. Could you briefly go over the difference between SPX and SPY assignment? SPX assignment is cash settled. So whenever the market session closes and it goes through the settlement period, which is why the market closes for 30 minutes every night, because you have to go through settlement, is actually the cash exchange's hands, the value of the cash exchange's hands. Whereas SPY, you can get shares assigned, which you have to have the money to cover the assignment of the shares. Little green here off of the bottom of the range. VIX still holding 26. So the way I'll start taking calls here, if we do get bullish, and I mean temporarily bullish, not long term, is I'll look at taking calls above that line right there, 443.43. That'll be that prior swing high. I need to see it take out that level and start to climb up. Then I'll look at taking calls above it. And that'll be pretty much right at VWAP when the time comes. And it'll give me a good indication if we're going to have a little temporary bull action here. I'm enjoying the education from this room. Are your service plans more robust in this room? Yes. Yeah, a lot more. We have a lot of discussion. It also depends on which tier you decide to choose. But yeah, we do. I hang out and talk in the trading room, especially when I come off of stream. I still type and chat and interact in the trading room and give market callouts, news breaks, all that kind of stuff. Interaction, questions. Shopify drop. Roblox doing anything today? They bounced back. I know they had a big red action last night. Now they're still trading flat during the session, relatively. $5 off. Well, that's not relative. That's 10 bucks. Let's see. I'm not seeing any strength here at all. I'm not seeing the bulls overtake just yet. My thesis still remains on forming new lows until I see that prior swing high and VWAP taken out. Me personally, I need to see this taken out before I start to get hung up on calls. What time frame am I using? Right now I'm on the 3-minute. Every now and then I'll do an update on the 5, 15, 30 just to kind of develop trend. I want to make sure I'm definitely viewing the overall trend. because that'll help you. In fact, there's a good practice. Once you enter a trade, depending on the type, if you're doing like a 0 DTE scalp, you don't want to do this. But if you're looking for like a swing or even like a single overnight trade, or even like if you want to take a trade and monitor throughout one day trade, is once you take a trade, get off the 3 and go to the 5 or at least the 15, because that'll cut out the noise. And you don't want to be cut a position early or late because of the 3-minute noise. Another green candle smoked in the face. Am I missing out on not using the 3? I wouldn't say you're missing out. No, I think it's great to cut out that noise. It's great. No one can hear me on Discord. Uh-oh. People still having issues? Who can hear me? A lot of people can still hear me, so I think some people. Yeah, just make sure you are cutting in and out. Or close that and open it back up. All right. Speaking of which, especially yesterday, after yesterday's Discord outage, that's twice in a month. I think I need to figure out some sort of backup option. Yes, I have Twitter, which, by the way, if you are on Twitter, go follow me. Not because, I definitely want some growth there, but we need a backup. I need to be able to converse with my people in the event that Discord goes down again, especially if it happens on a longer time frame. So head over to Twitter, Ops Millionaire, OPTS Millionaire, and follow me on Twitter. I do have Twitch, yeah. I'm in the process of getting that thing rolling. It's up and going, but man, that thing is no bueno. Emergency WhatsApp. I can't use WhatsApp. They have security concerns. Not to mention it's a freaking dumpster fire with ads and spam. People like telegrams. Yeah, they did like telegrams. I think that might be a little slow. I'd have to type out. All right, so we got a touch grade here. Not much going on. Telegram is an app. Oh, I see. Oh, I thought you meant like telegrams. I do have Zoom, so we could do some stuff with Zoom, for sure. Not all that much going on. I know we're not talking too much about the market here, but it's pretty much doing the same. Y'all know my mind. Y'all know my thesis. What about a private Twitter account? Yeah. Speaking of Zoom, Tier 3 call coming up the last weekend in February. Slack. I'll take a look at it. I hear you, but I'm ignoring you. I'm in queue calls. I hope you win, Billy. I've got my long-term puts on. You're fine. So everyone's saying Telegram. I'll look into it. I'll make a note to look into it as a backup, in the case that Discord goes down. So be advised, I will be offline for the most part this afternoon, unless the airplane Wi-Fi works. I'm on a flight this afternoon, so I'm pretty much going to hop off here, load up the last few things in my luggage, and head out to the airport. So we'll see. We're gonna hold a 2-person mini OM conference. Me and Vet are gonna be hanging out a little bit this week. So Villy V, hey, thank you, appreciate that, Villy V. Thanks for hanging out with us and supporting the community. Thank you. Does the wash sale rule apply to options trading? Supposedly it does. Supposedly. Anyway, it supposedly does, but it's never affected me. It's never affected me because of the inherently safe rule. Whatever. So I won't be on for FOMC. I will be on. Let's see. I should be on the ground by then. No, I won't. I'll be in the airplane when it hits. So I'll be on airplane Wi-Fi. Am I scared of flying? I picked a heck of a career field. If I'm scared of flying, I'll say that. I'm not hopping up just yet, but soon. Soon. You remember, this isn't FOMC. This is FOMC minutes. So don't get too caught up around the axle with FOMC. We may have a little bit of volatility, but today's not the day to be testing the waters here. There's a reason why the VIX is 26 out and above, and the market is not moving. There's a lot of volatility pent up here. Remember, I kind of gave the potential to kinetic energy metaphor last week. That applies here. The market's wound up. It doesn't know which way it wants to go, at least that we can see. You've got Russia. You've got inflation. You've got rate hikes coming up. You've got the liquidity being removed from the market. So we need to be very patient here. Patience is the name of the game. Patience is the name of the game. How's the Wi-Fi on Gulfstream? Are you the GAN trader? I don't know what that is, so I'm going to say no. The favorite tweet was about bull bear shame. Yeah, that nothing grinds my gears more than that crap. I hate it. Especially it just drives like why I don't know. I hate it. You go on Twitter and you say, "Oh, bulls are going to get wrecked today. Bears are screwed." Like, come on, man. What are you 5? You sound like my kids. All right, here we go. Testing that prior swing high. There we go. Popping up through it. There's a green candle. Thoughts on OCO orders? They're great when you step away from the computer. For me, when you can't manage a position, I think it's a good thing to do. All right, so VIX is starting to come off here, so I will temporarily at least look at calls. And let's bring up the 4450s. But we got to get up through VWAP. I need to see the VIX continue to come off here. XLF is starting to climb up. Let's see if it rejects that top again. Energy's holding that top line, but coming up touching VWAP right there. SPX is 44.45. A nice red candle off of VWAP. Yeah, you got to be super patient. Yesterday, it was an alarm for me. That's why I took that. I'll say it again. That's why I took that swing put. Yesterday was an alarm. This is very erratic behavior. The morning, I mean, we had a bounce off the lower range, and then we came up here and just kind of stuck to it, bam, bam, never fell off of it. And then we smoked down and immediately bought back up and did it. I mean, it's all over the place. So this is just, when I see this kind of crap and the moves that were made like this, unhealthy market. Unhealthy market. So, yeah, patience. And when I see this type of behavior, patience. And I'll get my big moves. I'm just going to be patient. That's right, Vet. I'd rather be on the ground wishing I was flying than flying wishing I was on the ground. Yep. I've been in an engine out situation on downwind. Not fun. UK markets got this little thing going on. All right. If you were in a situation where you had to pilot a passenger jet, would you be able to manage? Absolutely. Flying's flying. Obviously, they'd have to walk me through the infrastructure of the airplane, but flying's flying. I could do it. Not to mention, commercial jetliners today, it's not like what you see in the movie Airplane back in the 80s. You could, the passenger jets that you all fly on, you could fly the entire thing, the entire approach without even touching the controls, all automated, up until the landing. I've seen some pretty crazy stuff. You can like Cat 3 aircraft, completely fogged out conditions. You could hit a button, it'll fly the approach and touch down without even touching the controls. So yeah, absolutely I could. Flying's flying. Winning's winning. Nope, they removed that inflatable autopilot back in the 90s. I think they removed that. Yeah, I'm going to screenshot this thing. There you go. What is the largest, what does that say? What's the largest crosswind you ever landed with? Largest crosswind I ever landed with was a 31 knot crosswind. Direct crosswind. I had no choice. I was min fuel, which is not e-fuel. It's not emergency fuel. I had min fuel, which means you have to, it's not an emergency, but you have to declare min fuel. I had to get on the ground. So, also one of the smoothest landings I ever did. Fun fact. Isn't that crosswind? If you hear some noise in the back, my wife is home today. We're preparing for our trip, so you might hear a little ruckus in the background. Have you ever thought I was going to die while flying? No. I've been in some sketchy situations, but never out of control situations, no. Affirm, yes I am. Yes I am a pilot. So we got some red here just under our S4. We rejected VWAP once. Yeah, I did. I did. Yeah. Opposite rudder, bank it to the wind, and glassed it, baby. Glassed it. When I'm flying small aircraft, there are two things that scare the bejesus out of me: icing and a fire in the cockpit. A fire will consume a Cessna quicker than you can get on the ground. Electrical fire. So everything else, engine out, I don't care. Unless I'm in the mountains. But if I have an engine out, so be it. I'm just going to put it on the ground. Fun and military. Fun and military. All right, we got a green. Come back up to the swing high there. NASDAQ is starting to climb higher and higher, and VIX has got a little red here. Oh, it climbed cell towers. Nice. Yeah. This will be recorded. Yep. So after the stream ends, you'll see the live stream posted in the on my YouTube account. Big green on the NASDAQ. 4450s. XLF is still flat. Energy's rounding over. Let's see what's causing this here. XLK is starting to pop. Apple's climbing up, testing VWAP. Microsoft had a little bit of a pop after some weird price action. Look at that price action on Microsoft. That's the craziest thing. Dead flat. Amazon spiking a little bit. Yeah, so Nvidia breaking out the top. I don't. I don't own one just yet. I will be wanting to get one. I've always wanted to buy. Like me and my brother thought about getting on our aircraft together because you can put them in a trust and all sorts of neat stuff with an aircraft. But I do have a brother. Yeah, yeah. He's also a pilot. He does trade. Yeah, he does trade. What's your dream aircraft you would fly if you had a choice to own any aircraft? P-51 Mustang. P-51 Mustang. After that, it would be a B-17, but I would need a crew. I would need a couple other people to also own that with me. That's correct, Alex. That's correct. P-38s are nice too. Yeah. Have you ever had issues with flight controls? Never. The coolest thing I've ever seen in a small civilian aircraft is an instructor land the aircraft completely with only the trim and the rudder. Didn't touch the yoke at all. He landed the aircraft completely with the rudders and using the trim, which is the coolest thing I've ever seen. Anyway, you know it's boring when we're talking about aircraft. So SR-71's nice. SR-71's definitely a nice aircraft. It's more like a missile though. More like a missile. But yeah, it's very cool. Yes, best buds. I'm currently in the March 4th 4350 puts. I know this has been said many times, but you totally have the perfect pilot voice. Well, you kind of have to. You got to sauce it up a little bit when you're on the radios. I have heard of that, Luke. Yeah. All right, there's some red off the swing high VWAP. Coming on down. Do you have a code name like in Top Gun? A code name. No, not like Top Gun. Top Gun is not well received in the aviation community, contrary to what people believe. All right. Have I ever encountered aliens? No, I've not. No, I've not. Oh man. All right, I'm going to give this till 11 o'clock and I'll hop off here. Are those UFO sightings real? I can't comment on that, but I do know that the people that made those sightings and claims are very credible people. So, very credible people. Would you project SPY to fill the gap we move down? Yes. I think if we move down, it'll be a very precipitous movement. So, yes. Thoughts on Nvidia earnings after close? I don't have any thoughts. I don't. Am I going to be live with Vet tomorrow before skiing? No, I'll be on my laptop. I don't know if I'll be live. I'll try it. Let's see. I'll try that. But unless Vet wants to take over and let him do the stream, which would be awesome. But yeah, I'll definitely be trading the first 30 minutes of the day with you all, but because the slopes don't open until 9 o'clock, that local time there, but which will be, what is it? 10 o'clock. No, 11 o'clock Eastern time. So I'll trade for like 30 minutes and then go hit the slopes. All right, here's another test of the same level. Jim Cramer just came out and posted he likes Upstart and Airbnb as winning stocks. Yeah, I'm tracking. I'm tracking storm coming in. So NASDAQ's starting to crunch a little higher and higher. XLF is starting to fall. Energy's dead flat. Still not a lot of movement. Having issues to get it registered to the UM Discord. Who can I reach out for help? Shoot me if you are on Patreon. I'm not sure what you did. Are you on Patreon, Bill? Let me know. Or you can just shoot me an email. And I can help you out there. Rudy, I do have it on. I do have the squeeze Momo on my long-term charts, like my 1 year when I'm doing my 1 year analysis, but I no longer use it for the short-term stuff. Another rejection of VWAP. That's the third one. You're welcome. 531 people in the Discord stream. I think that's we've hit over 500 every day this week. That's awesome stuff. Yep, I am coming to Colorado. I'll be in Vail this weekend from doing some skiing. When you got the military epic passes, you got to take advantage whenever you can. $150 a year for the military epic passes. optionsmillionaire2020@gmail.com. That's my email. Epic Pass is the lift ticket for Vail. It's usually like $900 a year or something like that, and I get it for $150 since I'm military. So got to take advantage. Plus, I have free points for the airlines. Plus, that for airline tickets. Plus, I get heavily discounted rates on rental cars from my wife's work. So pretty much it's almost a free chip. All I have to do is pay for lodging and food, and it's, heck, let's go. Nice. All right, got about 5 more minutes here, and I'm going to hop off. Not all that much going on here. Strategy today is hang out. I encourage you to not trade until at least after FOMC. This day is very choppy. Yesterday was erratic. So this is not a good time to start testing the waters here. So I would encourage you to kind of hang out. Wait till after FOMC, and then we'll get back after once we kind of have all the data in the past. And we'll kind of get a better feel of, are we going to have yet another flip-flop headline today for Russia? So I'm still holding the 3-4s. Yep. I will have the Wi-Fi on the aircraft, but as you all know, I don't know how reliable it will be, so don't expect me to be here. But if I do, I will try for sure. What I'm going to do though, I will set. Let's see here. I'm going to set a 20% loss on the swing puts just in case the market decides to go frickin' bull rally crazy while I'm on the aircraft and I can't get out of it. So I'll set a 20% loss on that. 20% from initial investment. Just because I still think the long-term play is down. So, hey, another rejection and some downside. Nice. Hmm. Man, look at these green or red candles. I like it. I like it. Join us for the downside. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'll go ahead and post the S6 and 7 just in case we come down. I'll post them in the OM analysis. Let's see, S6, S7. Below that, it's in God's hands. 438.97 right there. Posted. I am saying I do think we're going to put in new lows today. I am bearish on the day. That's not to say that FOMC data won't come out and we'll blast to 450. I'm just saying with this current price action, obviously we are kind of waiting for some data to come out, but we will see. We will see. Don't go forming a bias based on me. If you see calls, play calls. And obviously I'm not going to be able to play as aggressive as I want because I'll be on an aircraft, but the VIX is still very much elevated, 26 and change. How do you decide when to leave runners and when to take all the profit? How do you decide when to exit your runners? It all depends on my levels. It's greatly decided on the levels that I post, the S and R levels. When I enter a trade, I kind of think, all right, well, where do I enter a trade? Where's the price breaking and bouncing? And I figure out. So, for example, if I think there's going to be, and I'm just saying theoretically, if I think SPY will reject VWAP again, I'll take a put at VWAP here. And we get the flush, things are coming down, and my brain will say, okay, I'm going to at least look at taking profit at S5 because we have some of this, at least some of the position. So what I'll probably do is around here, go ahead and cut some profit before we get to S5 because I don't want a big rejection off of it. Go ahead and take profit and leave runners. And then my runner strategy will be if we get a green candle, if we take out the confirmation candle green, I'll look at closing the rest. But if we just have one green and then we fail back down, I'll leave the runners on. And I'll keep on hopscotching those runners down and down until I get a good hammer candle with some sustained buying volume as a reversal. It's all about price analysis and then watching my particular levels. Unfortunately, it's a dynamic situation that depends on the particular environment. Do I manage other people's money? No. I've been down that road before. I was successful with it, but too much risk. I can handle losing my own money. I don't want to be in charge of losing other people's money. No, because I'm not a financial professional. So you go down that road, it gets icky. A lot of liability there. The yellow indicator is veterans session ranges. So that is the high and the low between market open until 10:05 Eastern Time. I do. I do think my training as a military pilot has greatly improved my trading. Multitasking and not to mention risk management and keeping your emotions under control. I do. All right, y'all. It is 10:05, 11:05 Eastern. I'm going to go ahead and call that a morning. It's been a little choppy after that first initial flush. I expect it to continue here until FOMC. Y'all play smart. I'm not going to be here. We'll just count on me not being here, and if I am, icing on the cake there. So y'all just be smart, play smart, don't FOMO. Remember, there is such thing as not trading. You don't have to trade. Don't fight it and sit there and watch a losing position just get more in the red because of decay. Because you're trying to make a move or front run a move. It's best to just kind of sit on your hands and wait. So I will see you all later. I will be trading in the morning, not necessarily on stream, but if I do, that's great. And I will see you all later. Y'all hang out. I'm good.